Hello everybody, it's the 6th of February today, and I'm looking at this windswept hawthorn of mine, and I've been looking at it over the winter, and I'm not happy with this piece of movement. I know, we're supposed to try and get movement into our trees, and it's great to have the movement, but there's something about this piece that I keep looking at, and I don't know why, it just reminds me of a sort of bow and arrow, one of those recurved, what I call them, recurved bows. And I've decided I just don't like it, and I've decided I'm going to lose it. I'm going to make this one of these Timey Wimey videos, so this is all that I'm really going to do to this today. Let's take that off before I bottle it. I didn't really feel a gin was appropriate. So hence it's gone completely. Other than that, I'm just going to give it a couple of little light trims, a couple of branches of light trim. Come here, Cooper-Doo. Come and say hello to the good people. Come and say hello. Old misery. Keep hiding from everybody. People like to see you, Happier to see you than they are me, I reckon. So yeah, just trimming off a couple of pieces. That have looked nice, but I no longer want to keep. Or like this piece, I'm going to shorten that to a branch going that away. I'm definitely happier to have lost that piece. I thought for a horrible minute, as I felt the clippers sort of give purchase and snip. Uh-oh, I'm making a mistake here, but no, I think I like it. Okay, in my mind's eye, the wind is blowing that away, so anything that was going back that way or across that way, I'm losing. Not wholly convinced by this lower branch at the back, which is kind of hidden by the trunk. Maybe I ought to future reposition the tree slightly, but we'll see. I'm not going to repot this one this year. It only went into this pot last spring, I believe. But yeah, lost a big old chunk of tree, so going to pop it back on the bench, and we'll revisit it from time to time through spring and summer. It's the 2nd of April today, and the tree is shooting out really rather nicely. I do love the fresh spring growth on a deciduous tree. I guess, yeah, you'll probably have noticed if you've been watching my channel for any length of time that the majority of my trees are deciduous. And that's my preference, I guess. I mean, I like a pine if I go to a bonsai show, but on the bench, they're kind of unchanging through the seasons, and I love the differences that you see from bare branches, new spring growth. It gets a bit ratty sometimes if we have a hot summer, insect damage, etc. Gorgeous autumn colours. Back to the bare tracery again. But that's just my preference. You may think otherwise. Let me know if you do. Keeper's gone off for a mooch around the garden. Suddenly remembered he's camera shy this morning as soon as I put the camera on the tripod. He got off his blanket there and decided to go for a wander, but there you go. All I'm doing at the moment is I've got a whole bunch of buds popping in places I don't really want, so I'm just going to rub those off. For example, there I've got a couple of buds here on top of this scar. I'm going to remove one and leave the other. May even train it out, but for this summer it's going to help heal that bud, heal that scar. And the other jobs I'm going to be doing is similar things. I've got buds going back in this direction. I don't really want. I also want to leave this centre a bit open, so I'm just pulling off growths that are going in the basically in the wrong direction, growing in the wrong place. How long before I shout ow when I catch a thorn? I have removed most of them, so hopefully I shouldn't catch many. That one's going straight up. Quite a bit of congestion in this particular area, so I'm gonna remove a bunch of those. There's a thorn. I missed. Right. Missed that little thorn. Somehow. I also missed that one. That's not something you want jammed up under your fingernail. But anyway, you get the gist with that. I want to make this, even though it's a Timey Wimey video, I don't want to make it too long. For now I'm going to let the tree grow out a little. One of the great things with hawthorns is this new growth will take bends very easily with some very thin wire, and that's how I've managed to put in some of these more sinuous bends in the younger wood before, so I will be wiring these when they get a little bit longer. Keep at the camera shy collie, thinks he's hiding in them bushes over there, but he's not. That's often been a preferred place for him when it's been hot and sunny, and it's hardly that today, but there you go. To each his own. So it's the 16th of April today, and my hawthorn here, my windswept hawthorn, is shooting out all over the place. 2, 3, 4 inches of growth in some places, and so I'm going to do some trimmage and some wiring. These trees take very poorly to wiring once the wood hardens. It's very brittle, it snaps. However, whilst it is at this stage, it's incredibly supple is the word, and you can move it in a lot of different directions quite easily with some fine wire, and put some interesting movement into it, which you would never be able to get into it in a million years. Whilst it's once it's hardened, I should say. So let's start with this branch here, where I have 2 pieces, and I'm just wiring it really, really loosely, because although it's supple and will bend, it will also bruise. So I often say I'm not a how-to, only a how-I. So take all this with a pinch of salt. I am still aiming to have this tree looking like it has been blown in this direction over many, many years. So I'm just maneuvering that branch in that direction. Could have done with this being a little bit larger, but there you go. Larger, longer. This branch is almost supple enough, as you can see. You can actually do that. Now you would never get away with that with a lot of trees, but there you have it. With this one, you can. And I'm then going to shorten it to this bud that's going in that direction, and that will set quite nicely in just a couple of weeks with that interesting bend. Okay, I'm going to do the same with this, or these two rather. So I'm not too fussed if I get the odd leaf caught in it. These will set very quickly. The wire will only be on a matter of a couple of weeks or so at most, really. Because otherwise the wire will cut in quite quickly as these grow. Okay, so that's anchored there. Juvenile spikes on a hawthorn aren't too terrible, but they're still there. Excuse my arm being in the way for a lot of that process, but I can now pin that branch almost any way I want. Let's put some interesting movement. This piece I'm going to let elongate a little more. And this piece I'm just going to shorten right back. I'm not sure if I even want it in the final design. I might want to see more of that branch, but and similarly this piece I'm going to shorten back to a bud going in that direction. This piece is growing straight up. I'm going to have to do something with. Okay, anchor that. I'm going to take off the growing tip there, and then this branch ow, yes, what did I say about the juvenile thorns still being quite sharp? Blimey, they're still quite sharp. Okay, I don't know how well that shows with that branch now. It's getting very three-dimensional. Okay, I guess you get the picture with that. I'm going to just work my way around, wiring some of these longer shoots into ways that meet my image of how this tree should look. Okay, then I'm going to shorten that and take the tip out of that. This piece I'm going to lose. And this tree is about to flower for me. Not much, not a huge wodge of flower. And just one little piece. Excuse my sniffing, I got a bit of a cold. I'm gonna leave the rest of these shoots that are only sort of 1.5 inches long to grow a little more before I start to wire those. So I'm going to put this tree back on the bench. Maybe I'll do this one. Yeah, find me a piece of wire long enough. I'll do these two here. Just say, I'm not too fussed about catching wire in them, but leaves in the wire, but if I can help it, I will try not to. Okay, let's bring it back to the front. And where these bends will look and be shown off their finest, obviously, is come winter time, when the tree is bare, and you'll be able to see all these bends and twists that will hopefully look like nature did it, in the forms of sculpturing the tree over many years to grow downwind. Yeah. Okie doke. That's it for now. I'm gonna make decisions. I'm gonna leave that to help cover that scar. And he's going in the wrong direction, going back into the canopy of the tree there, which I'll get rid of, and that one likewise. Okay, so here we are, mixture of some wiring, some trimming. A quick fast forward to the 1st of May, and there, nestled, unfortunately nestled under some of the foliage, is that awesome blossom, which is appropriately often called May blossom here in the UK. And do you know, I think if I had to choose a favourite flower on a tree, it would definitely be the Hawthorn. Actually, if I was just asked to pick a flower in general, it would also be quite high up on that list. Okay, so the tree is looking good. Still in two minds about what to do with this one. The flower, well, the flower's there in all its glory, and I'm happy with that, and I'm hoping that next year it'll flower some more. I'm going to put a piece of wire on this, a little piece here, which is growing in the wrong direction and far too straight. It is amazing how sharp these spikes can get at this stage, when essentially the wood is nowhere near ripe. But you get one of these spikes in your fingertip, you don't have to know about it. Okay, I'm going to pinch the growing tip out there. And I think this branch is about as long as I want it to be. And then I'm just going to put some bends and some movements that will hopefully make this look like an old windswept, grown over many seasons branch at some point. I'm in two minds, as I say. I've left this shoot growing to cover over, or to help close over this wound. I'm in two minds as to whether I bend it over the top. I think I'm going to. Working on the theory that I can always cut it off at a later date if I don't like it, but I can't put it back. So where's the harm? Try not to catch the leaves. Again, this tree, I want the effect to be that the wind is blowing in this direction, so a nice squirrely S-bend in there. I'm not going to pinch back the growing tip yet. I'm going to kind of lay it across the top, and as I think I said before, this tree kind of comes into its own in the winter when you can see that silhouette of all the sort of wind-blown branches. I say all that, that's what I'm aiming to achieve. You can let me know whether you think I've achieved that down in the comments below. Okay, cannon for scale, and a quick 360. Thank you so much for watching, I really do appreciate it. Do all the usual YouTube things, the liking, the subscribing, the commenting below, but mostly, please, 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 stay safe everybody.